All right, hello. Just explaining a forearm routine that I did on 4/23/2025. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple, pretty short. It was just cone grip, sipes, wrist curls, sipes style. If you've never tried this style before, so you're gonna be like on your side a little bit. Well, you are gonna be on your side. So you'll set up on a bench, and then you're just on your side. And I kind of like to just hold my elbow a little bit so that it's supported, so that my arm isn't going with the weight. Because sometimes when the weight gets heavier, your body's going to move with the weight. So I kind of just hold on my elbow here just to steady it a little bit more. But the handle that I used is just a detachable handle. It's a cone grip handle, and it's shaped like a cone. So pretty self-explanatory. You can turn it whatever way you want to. I did turn it where the thicker portion was into my pinky. So that's the way that I used it. And the sets and reps, it was just a giant style set. Just worked my way up, and then I did some down sets. So I suppose you could call it, it wasn't really, it's kind of drop sets, but it was shorter drop sets, I guess. I just worked my way up to 60 pounds, did about 5 reps, and then I took off, what is it, like 15 pounds. I did 45. I think that's 15. Yeah, 15 if my math is correct, which it could be wrong. I'm not the smartest guy. But then I just did 25 pounds for 30 reps at the end. What I'm trying to do, see, my right arm can keep going, but I'm trying to keep it to where they're similar, especially with the dumbbell work. I feel like my left hand, it holds me back on when I do two-hand stuff. So if I do barbell wrist curls, I feel like my left hand is always kind of the lagging behind, and then my right hand ends up having to kind of make up for it, I guess. So it kind of strains it a little bit more. So I'm trying to kind of keep it similar. That's why I kind of am choosing to do these giant sets instead of working up to like a real heavy single like I was doing. I still plan on doing that every once in a while, but I just feel like there's a point to where, especially for the wrist, I don't want to overdo it with my wrist. I have a tendency to do that, but I don't know, it just seems to be an area that I can overload a lot. So then I end up just doing that all the time, and I don't want to do that. At least not all the time. So this is why I've kind of thrown in these giant sets here for the wrist curls, to kind of force myself to not be able to use as heavy weights, because I fatigue. So, and plus it gives you a heck of a pump if you've never tried it. So that's what I did. Nothing too complicated. Just simple giant set with some wrist curls. And these were full range. So with the sipes, I like to go full range. I feel like it really, like laying on your side like that, it kind of forces the blood to stay in your arm because you're smashing onto your arm there. So it's kind of like wearing BFR or blood flow restriction bands without wearing them. So when you go full range on these, you really get a pump, a big pump. So if you've never tried them, give them a try. Of course, start light, because being on the side like that, it does put a little bit of strain on, or it can, on your shoulder and stuff if you're not used to it. So just try it out. Lighter weights first, of course. And like I said, to take some strain off the shoulder and all that, and the elbow, I kind of hold onto my elbow when the weights get heavier. Sometimes with the lighter weights, I don't do it because it's just not needed. But when the weight gets heavier, it's kind of wanting to pull you down. But that is that. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.